Donald Trump has a surprising pick to become the new UN ambassador. Here is part of his announcement.
Heather Nauert, somebody that we know very well, who's done a great job at as working with Mike Pompeo and others over at the State Department. Heather Nauert will be nominated. She's going to work with Nikki Haley to replace Nikki at the United Nations. She'll be ambassador to the United Nations. She's very talented, very smart, very quick, and I think she's going to be respected by all.
So he says that he knows her well, and he should. She was a host on Fox and Friends, and that might explain why he's familiar with her. Of course, she has been working with the State Department. So while she doesn't have any direct foreign policy expertise, in statements about her, they've talked about her years of talking about politics on the news, which means that we're all qualified to be ambassadors, I suppose. And
that's why I'm not going to argue against her.
Exactly.
I think she is eminently qualified.
There you
why
go.
wouldn't someone talking about politics be qualified for important positions in the government?
Yeah. She, in addition, she oversaw public diplomacy at the roughly 275 US embassies while in a position, communications position, also helmed the Global Engagement Center that combats extremist messaging. So over the past year or so, she has been doing the sort of work that potentially sets you up for something like this.
No. Yeah, at least at the State Department, I guess.
Well, that's my point.
Let's be clear, this is just another great example of Donald Trump choosing a loyalist for a key position rather than a capable public servant.
And Nick,
it's super sad.
Yes, and Nick, as usual, he backs you up accidentally by admitting it. Here's another quote from Trump. He said, "She's excellent. She's been a supporter for a long time." But that's not a qualification for UN ambassador, right?
Well,
I mean, you're not like, even if you thought that, you're not supposed to say
it out loud. That's your interior. That's your inside voice, your interior voice, not your outside voice. Yeah,
it's better than John Bolton.
Yes.
Well, that's true, and that's what George W. Bush did. Look, a lot of people like to whitewash the Bushes and other people that were part of the establishment. Bush, to this day, still worse. Iraq War, 2008 crash, and Hurricane Katrina. Now, Trump might have tied him on dealing with the hurricanes, okay? But if you looked at the stock market this week, trying to catch him on the 2008 crash, but has not started a war that's killed hundreds of thousands of people.
Bush had 6 years on him.
Yeah, to be fair, that's true.
Screw-ups per minute, Trump probably is winning.
Yeah.
The Hurricane Maria response is just awful. I mean, thousands of people died, so
yeah,
pretty bad.
And then of course the other news is that John Kelly looks like he's going to leave in a couple of days. He's the chief of staff for Donald Trump. I think that one is far more important than this one. I mean, him putting a Fox and Friend person into a super important role. Like, we've gotten used to the madness. Like, it's like, what's the famous thing that people say, like, about Trump? If you build a circus, you shouldn't be surprised that a clown showed up, or you hire a clown, and of course you're going to get a circus, right? So we're in the circus. Everybody knows that, right? Yeah. But John Kelly, as the chief of staff, was supposed to be a ringmaster that kept things under control, so the lions wouldn't eat people at the circus. And look, I got a lot of issues with John Kelly, and he went along with 1,000 things that Donald Trump did while supposedly controlling him. So I don't think that he comes out of this looking good at all.
No.
But if you take him away and you put another incompetent loyalist in, oof, man, brace for impact.
Yeah.
I mean, both for the country in terms of more disastrous decisions being made, but also for the Trump administration, which I suppose is a good thing. I mean, they are going to veer. They're already out of control, but this is going to be completely out of control and perhaps off the cliff.
Maybe you can bring Corey Lewandowski back.
Well, I mean, they're considering Nick Ayers, who's a loyalist, vice president. But there were reports that they were considering Lewandowski. Yeah, and Lewandowski is a glorified thug, right? and so to us, that's a problem.
Yeah.
For Trump, that's the solution.
Yeah.
So when that shoe drops, it'll be interesting to see.
Yikers.
Yeah. Apparently, one super last thing on it, that John Kelly. Apparently, the reason Trump has not been able to fire him yet is because since it's his chief of staff, he has to do it. Normally, he just has the chief of staff
He's
do
afraid.
the firings.
He's afraid.
He is.
Yeah.
Literally, inside reports saying he's a 4-star general from the military, so Trump's intimidated and afraid to do it personally. Oh, he's such a little child, such a sad, sad little child.
The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.